What's up and welcome back to the Metalhead Car Show. There's so many cool cars out there, but more importantly, there's so many cool cars out there that we are sleeping on and we need to start giving some love. So today I want to go over 5 cars that we are currently sleeping on that we need to start checking out before it's too late. So let's get right into it. So not the car that we're sleeping on, but starting off with the Porsche 911 997. The 997 is an awesome car with kind of very little issues to it. But the cheapest one right now starts at almost $40,000 and kind of just goes up from there with options. So my recommendation, enjoy your runny eggs and go with the 996 911. Hot take, I think the 996 has always looked pretty good. I've never had a problem with those headlights, and I think it's probably one of the nicest looking 911s ever. But my bad opinions off to the side, they do have one huge issue. That's the intermediate shaft, which tends to break and detonate the entire engine. So it has these glaring issues. Why am I bringing it up? I'm bringing it up because these problems can be fixed and replaced with parts that actually work properly. And if you go pick one up for, let's just say, $20,000, by the time you're done getting it fixed, you'll have a car that is completely good to go, running, and maybe even reliable for less money than an entry-level 997 911 would be. So if you want to get into this is actually a great option to do so. The next car we are not sleeping on, the Fox Body Mustang. Now, anyone who's been following the Metalhead Car Show for a while now will probably know I'm a pretty big Mustang fan. I'm really into them in every single generation, even the Mustang 2. Now, as much as I love the Fox Body, it is being eaten alive by the nostalgia tax. Now, what I mean by that is the cheapest one I came across was, I believe, $7,500, and they went up to $40,000. That's an insane amount of money for an aging American car that makes 225 horsepower at its best. But my solution? The New Edge Mustang. Ratty examples are starting at about $3,000. You can easily get into kind of a nice one for about $8,000, and GTs are only really going up to about $15,000 to $20,000 for the nicest example. And with that, get a 2001 to 2004 car with the PI engine and the Tremec transmission, and you're going to have an awesome car to go play with, or a really fun platform to start with. I think these things are awesome. I think they look great, they're very reliable, and the PI engines are actually kind of good on gas if you're not just beating on it. Although, they sound great when you beat on it. Now I think if you spend $40,000 on a Fox Body instead of a Terminator, there may be something wrong with you. But that's just my opinion. Next car we're not sleeping on, the Lamborghini Diablo. Yes, the Diablo. Next to the Countach, the Diablo is definitely the ultimate car poster on every single teenager's wall. But we're not all Tyler Hoovy, and we can't just find these things for $125,000 in a shed right next door to us. And these things are getting wildly expensive. The cheapest one I scrolled across had an estimated sales price of $250,000 American, and some of these went up to $900,000. And these weren't even SC30 or Toyota cars. These were 6 liters and VTs. And at that point, you're starting to get obscenely expensive, and I can't really justify that price anymore. Not that I have the money to do so in the first place. But if you want a manual, insanely styled V12 car, I have a suggestion. And that would be the much less loved Vector M12. They share the same 5.7 liter V12, but it is a different suspension setup, it is a different gearbox, it is a completely different styled car, and it is so much more rare. And by that, I mean it's more rare than a Lamborghini Diablo Yoda. Now I'm bringing this up because the cheapest Diablo I came across had a projected sales price of $250,000, and the Vector M12 sells for $160,000 to maybe $220,000 American. That's a huge difference. And I'm willing to bet you'll get the exact same thrills, the exact same head-turning appeal that you will from a Diablo, whilst being so much more rare for literally a fraction of the price. And honestly, even if I had money for the Diablo, I would still go Vector. Next car we're not sleeping on, the Subaru Impreza WRX STI. Yes, one of the JDM legends. And this may seem like a weird one because some of these are actually kind of obtainable and still kind of affordable. But if you wanted a car like that, and by saying like that, I mean all-wheel drive, manual, turbo 4-cylinder, there is a cheaper option. The much more rare, much cheaper, and arguably better looking Mazda Speed 6. I absolutely love these cars, and seeing you can buy these things for almost $5,000 sometimes, well, 5 to 12, I think that is fantastic. Now, the Subaru is made for kind of all-terrain, and I'm not going to start an argument towards which one would be better at that. I'm going to give it directly to the Subaru. But I think on pavement, the Mazda would give you a lot of the same thrills the Subaru would. But again, for a fraction of the price. I think it's a shame that Mazda discontinued the Speed 6 when it was still pretty early into its life. But if you can get your hands on one, I think it'll be an absolute blast. The last car we are not sleeping on, the 10th gen Honda Civic Type R. The Type R is awesome, don't get me wrong. I've got nothing bad to say about it. They are wicked fast. They are probably the coolest looking Civic ever made. And it has center exhaust. So it won me over right there. Well, let's just say you don't have $30, $40, $50, $90,000 to get into one of these things. What do you do? So a 4-door hatchback that's kind of a bit more aggressively styled, that makes about 300 horsepower and is front-wheel drive. Here's why I saved this right to the end, because I'm going to lose everyone right here. The Dodge Caliper SRT4. Now let's just remove any notion of reliability or good build quality from this conversation, and let's talk about the fact that it's aggressively styled, it makes on the verge of 300 horsepower, and it makes fun turbo noises. Now, if this car was like $15,000, I don't know if I could really get into it. I generally don't trust that Dodge engine. Also noting these things are like $5,000 to $8,000. These things are super tempting. And I promise people who are just a little bit braver than most people will discover these things, and we won't be able to find one at $5,000 ever again. So that is my list of cars we are sleeping on. But I want to know, what do you think we're sleeping on? What do you think the markets just haven't picked up on? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you've enjoyed what you've seen. I post on Instagram and occasionally TikTok, and I'll see you later.